Hi everybody, this is CJ here from Gran Turismo Singapore, and welcome to episode number 3 of Coffee Break, where we take a break from racing and talk about all things Gran Turismo. So in this special episode, I have two very special guests. They have recently participated in the GTSG and St. Games 2017 Time Trial Challenge and took the podium in both second and third position respectively. And through the event, they actually won themselves a Thrustmaster T300 RS GT wheel, which is worth $600. So please welcome Jason and Aleef.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
Thanks guys, and welcome to Coffee Break. It's my pleasure to have you both tonight and have a chat here. So I just want to start the question with Jason, who is actually the runner-up, and Aleef is actually the second runner-up. So the question to the two of you, for the benefit of the listeners who are not familiar with either of you, could you just share with us more about yourself?
Okay, hi, I'm Jason, and I'm 22 this year, and I'm currently serving the nation. So I started playing racing games when I was very young, about 5 years old. But I only got my first steering gaming wheel about 7 years ago, which is like in secondary school.
So hi, I'm Aleef, 19 this year. I started out 4 years old when my dad got me Gran Turismo 1. But
Okay.
apart from that, I started out proper in maybe 2008 with the Netcar Pro at the Singtel F1 Roadshow, and yeah, from there on got my first wheel 4 years ago,
Okay.
2014, and been going on ever since.
Cool. So apart from Gran Turismo, what other driving games or simulators do you enjoy in your free time? So maybe Aleef can start first.
Oh, so I've generally enjoyed like most or all of Gran Turismo, Codemasters Formula 1 games.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, no. Played iRacing, a lot of iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Project Cars, Netcar Pro, the usual suspects.
For me, I just really enjoy the act of driving, so I play mostly all kinds of racing games. I really enjoy this game in particular called Dirt Rally.
Okay.
It's very thrilling and it just keeps me alive every time I play it. It's just an addicting thing to do.
I see.
To go rallying, and the car is like on the edge all the time when it's off route.
Right.
I also enjoy Assetto Corsa for its physics and its modding community.
Okay.
And also Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator. These games help me chill out from all the hard racing, and just helps me like think about life and just enjoy the serenity and the peacefulness.
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah,
deep.
so-
That's deep.
Yeah, it's a game that I think you guys will find pretty interesting if
Okay.
you are willing to try out.
So, what got you guys interested in sim racing or driving games? In general, what got you guys started in that sense?
First, I fell in love with cars when I was very young. I was about 2 years old when I got my first Hot Wheels toy car.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Ferrari, but I can't remember what model was it.
Right.
Yeah, so I started playing with toy cars. Then I discovered my first game, which apparently was at a bookstore or some sort.
Okay.
The game was called Toka 2 Touring Cars. It was a sim/arcade game at that time.
Right.
But basically it laid quite a good foundation for me for other racing titles that I will play in the future. But after that, I veered away from sim racing,
Right.
and I got hooked on the Need for Speed, Burnout, and the Dirt series. Because I just really enjoy racing any kind of car and any kind of game.
Sure.
Different physics engines test your skills differently. It took me quite a while. Then I was introduced to GT5
Uh-huh.
by my cousin, and
Okay.
he also had a gaming steering wheel, the DF-GT. Then after that, there was no turning back for me. I got my own wheel, and the rest is history.
Okay.
Yeah, I am today.
Right. And how about Aleef?
far as I could remember, I think it was GT1, Gran Turismo 1. What got me into cars was just, I think, everything, the speed, the thrill, I think just the looks of all the cars, you know. The first car I fell in love with was the R34 Skyline, which Paul Walker drove on Too Fast Too Furious. I think that was the first car I just literally fell in love with.
Okay.
As far as simulators go, I think it was just Formula One. You know, I wanted to practice myself, or I just wanted to do what Lewis Hamilton was doing. So, from the start, R Factor or even Netcar Pro.
Right.
So like 2008, yeah, that's what actually got me very close to simulators.
Right. Okay. So, well, even though the event has already passed since early last year, again, I just want to say congratulations to both of you for winning the St. Games Time Trial Challenge back in December 2017. Well, I know that, Jason is now in the army, and I believe Aleef is still studying. What have you guys been busy with since the competition?
Other than serving the nation for me, I also found great time in contributing to the Gran Turismo community through newfound friendships from the time trial event. And I'm really enjoying the game now that there's people to play and discuss with.
For me, it's mostly a lot of laps on Gran Turismo Sport, trying to at least reach close to the top. And mostly busy with school, all the homework and stuff. Yeah.
Right. So, I also want to take this opportunity to thank St. Games for hosting the event for us as the venue sponsor, and also Thrustmaster for making the event possible and even showering us with such generous prizes. So after winning the T300 RS GT wheel for the both of you, have you guys started using the wheel to play GT Sport, or have you guys installed it to your or anything?
Got it. I mean, opened it the first day I brought it over to my home. It has been my primary wheel ever since. Just enjoyed the smoothness. There's just no dead zone in this, which I'm still quite surprised and pleasantly surprised with it. And you can be confident that Trustmaster has gained a new fan through me.
For me, I've not started using the T300. I already have a current G29.
Right.
That is still working fine. The T300 is my backup wheel should the G29 fail one day.
Right, so before you guys were using the T300 RS GT, what was your prior experience apart from this Trustmaster wheel? And I also know for Aleef, your case is quite unique because when I last chatted with you, I know that you were actually using the DualShock 4, and interestingly, it's not just the D-pad or using the analog stick, but you were actually using the motion axis sensor to actually drive around, and you can still drive pretty competitively and clock very good times. So, do you want to walk us through your previous setup, and then also perhaps talk about your current setup and what do you think of the T300 in general?
So I think the motion axis was I first found out in the beta versions. And,
Okay.
actually, surprisingly, it was actually a lot faster than the analog, and it's closer to what the wheel could do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no limitations on how much you can, how much steering angle you can give. Also more accurate compared to the analog.
Right.
And it just felt natural, So I stick to that until I got this fantastic wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever there's gas, I use the motion. Whenever there's no gas, I use the wheel.
Oh, okay. So do you have a flexible setup that you can really keep and take it out?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, but well, it's just been a normal iron stand with the grips at the bottom. But it's stable enough for me. It doesn't rock around or anything, so it's okay with me. And also with the motion axis, I could easily adapt my driving style to any car that I was driving.
Right.
Be it Formula One in F1 2017 or even GT. So it's been a good transition to the motion, from the motion to the steering.
Okay. And for Jason, since currently you're using the Logitech G29, and I believe you have also tested the T300 RS. I think it was using your friend's wheel. How do you compare these two wheels?
So I used the T300 in PlayStation events and at my friend's house also.
Right.
I felt that the T300 wheel is really much more powerful than all the Logitech wheels. The force feedback is also much smoother.
Right.
The mechanisms inside is different from the Logitech. So there's no clunky, no gear grinding feeling from the wheel at all.
Okay.
It's just a very smooth transition.
Right.
300, you can swap wheels. You can buy new wheels from the website.
Yep.
And then you can like swap out the original wheel with another wheel, like a Ferrari Formula One wheel. And you have more buttons to play with then. So
Right.
Trustmaster is pretty flexible too. But for me right now, my setup is a G29 wheel with a Trustmaster THAA shifter,
Oh.
which is a head shifter
Okay.
by Trustmaster. Because the Logitech shifter is not great.
But correct me if I'm wrong, the Thrustmaster shifter is independently powered by the USB itself?
Correct. If you don't have a Trustmaster wheel, you have to plug the shifter into the USB hub.
I see.
So apparently you can plug it to the PS4, but I don't use it in Gran Turismo, so I plug it to my PC. So I can play other games with it, like Assetto Corsa and Euro Truck Simulator, where the game requires a clutch
Right.
and a head shifter. Yeah, so my wheels and the shifter is mounted on a Wheel Stand Pro. It's a great wheel stand if you have space constraints in the house,
Right.
because you can like move the wheel up and down, and you can like fold it up like a foldable bicycle and store it somewhere when you want to keep the wheel lah.
Sure.
For me, I have a Secret Lab chair. It's just a comfortable chair, but then I use door stoppers on the wheels, so it doesn't move back when I'm braking.
Ah, okay. That's clever.
Yeah.
Cool.
I almost wanted to like change the wheels of my chair to those that can lock themselves. Nah, it's too much of a hassle, so I just got a door stopper
Sure.
for like one buck.
So do you guys actually foresee yourself to eventually invest in a rig? Because currently the setup, of course, we have things to consider like space constraints, the bulkiness and storage as well. But do you guys foresee that you will perhaps upgrade and mount the wheel to a so-called more permanent kind of setup? Or you guys are really comfortable with where you are now?
I'm looking for actually a new setup, like a gaming chair or something. Because I think this current setup it's good, but for the long run it's not great because it still doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel right.
Right.
How a driving position should be. So looking for an upgrade. Just have to see when my time permits, and I have to go over to IKEA and build something.
For me, I will definitely get a simulator setup like those in Oboto in the future lah.
Sure.
Right now, my house doesn't have the space for that kind of rig. But definitely when I have my own house and when I'm earning my own money, I'll definitely invest in a full-blown simulator like that lah. But for right now, I'm quite comfortable in my own setup. Maybe because I'm just used to it, because I've been playing like this for 7 years. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I remember those days whereby I would mount my DFGT on this cheap IKEA wooden table, just get a stool and start driving. Yeah, definitely is something that that really brings back quite a bit of memories compared to my current setup. But I guess eventually I would see that for hardcore racers like yourself, these kind of incremental upgrades will eventually come to you.
Yep, I can see that.
Right. So
Interestingly, Lewis Hamilton actually his setup, right?
mhm.
It's actually just a normal wooden table with a kitchen chair.
Ah,
He
okay.
posted it on his Instagram story.
I
So
see.
was kind of surprised that he doesn't have like proper racing chair, but it works for him.
Okay.
So yeah.
Interesting.
So,
I guess that my next question is really mainly for Aleef. Since you were using the motion axis controller and also the wheel. As far as I know, you are probably one of the more versatile drivers out there that can actually use a DualShock 4 as well as a wheel and still clock competitive time. So my question is, which one do you think is faster? I guess it's a rather old question whereby sim racers, they always have this argument, especially for console gamers and console sim racers. We have this group who are really using controllers, and then we have another group that use the wheel, and there's always this comparison between the two to see which one is actually produce the faster drivers. What do you think?
Actually, over 1 lap for me personally, there's actually not much difference.
Okay.
I could still clock the same lap times I clock in a wheel on the motion, but it's over 10 laps or more than that is where it actually really counts.
Mm-hmm.
You're hitting more consistent lap times over and over. You're having the same braking points. You're not missing any apex, as compared to motion where you might make mistake here and there over the 10 lap period and say lose 5 seconds over that long run. So that's where it really counts. And for hardcore gamers like Jason and myself, this really matters.
Right.
I don't know how Aleef does it, but he's super fast on the controller.
Right.
It's really scary.
I have the same question as well.
I have to applaud him for like enduring using a controller and being such a great driver at it.
Right.
And then wow. I couldn't set a proper lap time with a controller.
Right.
I just couldn't.
Okay.
The throttle control is just too spiky. I can't control my fingers that well.
Yeah, I have the same question as well with Jason. So, I think we have raced with each other quite a bit, and of course, the two of you will always be pretty much at the front of the grid, which means the qualifying or the time that you guys clock will be pretty fast. And what really surprises me is the flexibility and being so versatile in both controller and the wheel, particularly for Aleef, because I can't really see any difference in terms of his lap time being, for example, one being slower than the other. What I notice is he's so consistent. So Aleef, do you have any tips for fellow GTSG drivers who do not have a wheel and uses the DualShock 4 to drive?
For me personally, is I've practically grown up with a controller.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of train my index fingers and my thumbs to be like the smoothest ever.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can kind of modulate my throttle, my braking as well as good as let's say my legs, my feet, which are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And my thumb is actually pretty much it just never makes a mistake. I don't know how.
I think that's the magical part. You don't know how.
Yeah, that's the thing. I now of course I'm not using my thumb, but in Formula 1 2017, like for example, there's no motion axis for that, so I have to use my thumb, and surprisingly it's still the same. I still don't know how I'm still able to match my controller lap times.
So just
my wheel lap times.
So just to get this have a better idea for the listeners, do you use the classic controller setup, as in using your thumb to brake and to press the X button and the square button, or do you use the trigger button as acceleration and brake?
Yeah, I have to use the trigger button, because if you use the X and square button, it either binary 1 or 0. That you can't have anything in the middle.
Right.
So yeah, I use the trigger buttons, the L2 and the R2 for R2, L2 for accelerate and brake respectively.
Right.
So okay, so tips wise, right, is just have to just try to use the motion, since it's actually faster, and replicate whatever you do on a wheel on the controller. So hold it up 90 degrees and just pretend like you're holding a wheel, and from there just keep practicing, keep going on, watch your watch how much you are, how much input you're giving, on your throttle and your brakes, and slowly work your way up from there.
Cool. Okay.
I agree with Aleef because I used the controller for a few weeks when my G27 pedals were not working well.
Right.
So basically I did the motion steering. The steering input is very similar to the wheel. So I had no problems adapting to the steering input wise. But
see.
the only thing was the throttle input and the braking input, where Aleef is way much smoother than me. Yeah, that's how you find lots of lap times.
I see.
And I really recommend the motion steering
Okay.
instead of the thumbstick.
Looks like I should give it a try someday as well.
You should.
Okay, I will. So, well, moving away from the inputs and controllers, I noticed that both of you currently are ranked as rating A in your driver's rating. As far as I know, if I'm not wrong, you guys are one of the first few Singapore-based drivers who actually attain this A rating. Of course, we still have one more level up, which is the S rating, but to attain A rating is definitely not easy. So, I myself am still a B rating driver. Any tips for those who are in the midst of pursuing the driver's rating A? Do you have any advice, or how do you actually get there?
It's just a lot of practice, and try to get to grips with, say, how, like, for example, I use the Mercedes-AMG GT3,
Right.
and I just love how stable the car is. It just doesn't. Okay, for example, the Porsche 911, which I if I'm not wrong, Jason uses.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It turns in very well. That's something I'm just so impressed with the RSR. But for me that car, I find it kind of twitchy, which
I agree.
consistency wise, it might slow me down. So that's where I really just fell in love with the Mercedes, and also considering I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan,
Okay.
Mercedes. So yeah, that's one of them. So of course, tips. To get to A is just a lot of races. You gotta have to try to be consistently at the top. There's a lot of daily races which GT offers, and just try to stick with one single machinery. Try to understand the car, and just a lot of practice before you go. Like, say, if the next track is Nürburgring, which it is currently for GT3, just spend a good 10-20 laps just getting used to it and just trying to improve your time.
Yeah, for me, I reached the S driver rating recently.
Right.
Yeah, so basically, to acquire the A driver rating in the first place, you basically have to finish higher up the order than the field
Right.
most of the time. But in order to do that, you have to practice. So you have to dedicate time to learning the car, like what Aleef said. So just do laps with the car and get in the qualifying time trial, and just keep building your speed from there. Once you feel like you can't go any faster, you can always refer to the replays of the top 10 drivers, and you can pick some tips and braking points, turn-in points from there.
Right.
So after that, you just get back on track and try to implement those inputs that you learned while watching the replay.
Okay.
Most likely you will get an even faster time, and then try to make it as consistent as possible before joining a race, because when you come to the race, there's a lot of people around you, and you have to set those lap times consistently for about 5 laps or so.
Right.
Because once you miss a braking point, miss a turning point, you ram into other cars, or you simply go out of track, you lose a lot of time. Like,
Sure.
you just throw away your whole race just by doing that. So being consistent is key
Sure.
to getting a higher driver rating.
Right. Oh, well, congratulations for getting, or rather attaining the S driver's rating. I think it's really tremendous to actually reach there. So just help me to understand a bit more. Do you really have to win a lot before you can really do like progress massively in terms of the driver's rating, or from what I gather in my this little research is that you need not win a lot, but so long you can actually increase your position in the race, you will also be earning quite a bit of these points for yourself to progress upwards. So, do you see a trend, or do you see a pattern from this? And what do you think is the best way to really progress upwards?
For me, it's just I don't win a lot of races because I'm always tied with all those alien drivers. I try to finish at my qualifying position most of the time.
Okay.
If I can gain places, then I'll gain. But main thing is to be as consistent as possible and don't take unnecessary risks that will screw up the entire race.
Sure.
So I normally finish about 6th place, 5th place. On good tracks and good car combinations, I might finish in 2nd or 1st consistently.
Wow, okay. That's awesome.
But then again, you don't have to win races in order to climb your driver rating.
Sure.
But just finish high up consistently, that's all.
Right. So, Aleef, from your journey between B rating to A rating, was it a long journey for you? What's the experience like?
I mean, it was not that long, but it was fun, just a lot of races, and I kind of won quite a bit of races. And generally it's just trying to be up there with the rest, just mingle with them, and just this main point is just don't get intimidated by the rest. Okay, they might have like a second or half a second faster than you, but just in the race, that half a second doesn't really matter. So it's just about you and how consistent you are and how you can intimidate the other person instead of that guy intimidating you. So that's where it all matters.
Right. Of course, when we talk about racecraft aside, in racing in general, there's also a lot of psychological war going on, be it with yourself or with the next driver beside you. So how frequent do you guys really practice driving?
So for me, as long as I have time, I just on the PS4. If my steering wheel is like by the side, I use my controller. If not, just time trial. I've been doing a lot of laps at Dragon Trail with the Lexus RCF4.
Right.
Just the track and car combination we had for the same games competition.
Right.
Just because I just wanted to find out where I was losing time and stuff.
Sure.
So just a lot of practice, lots and lots of practice. And a lot of daily races as well.
For me, to me, driving is just already part and parcel in my brain. Like, the act of driving is just there.
Right.
For practice wise, I only practice on my own for important races, like a Nation Cup race, maybe a competition that I know the track and car combination of. That one I will really definitely practice. But for other things like normal daily races, I just get in there and just spend a few minutes setting lap times. I think that's what differentiates me and Aleef. Aleef is super committed, while I'm just doing this for my hobby and just chilling around.
Well, end of the day is there must be a reason why the two of you are such quick drivers. End of the day. So of course, what Aleef mentioned is, for example, if you go back to the Sand Games event, even after the event, he actually revisited the track and then tried to see can he actually improve further and find ways to shave off time further. I guess that's also where the personal motivation is. And that's what makes someone, in a way, competitive to begin with. That being said, it's I guess I just want to ask this very simple question, which I think some of us may be wondering. Is it really talent that makes you guys quick, or is it the practice that makes you guys quick? Or could it be a combination of both? What's your opinion?
It has to be a mixture of both, because either one won't actually cut it. For example, if you have talent only without the hard work, you can be up there, but you won't go as far. And hard work without talent is also the same kind of thing. So, in my opinion, it's just combination of both. You need to have the passion, the determination, of course, the talent, also as well as the hard work, lah.
Right.
Which comes with it. Yeah.
Okay. And Jason?
Yeah, so for me, before coming to Gran Turismo and having my steering wheel, when I first got my steering wheel, I played Gran Turismo 5. And Gran Turismo 5 had this driving line that is colored.
Right.
So it's very useful in helping me find my braking points and trail braking, and also when to fully release my brake and get on the throttle. So that's where I learned a lot of the driving technique that I still use today. So like, for me, there is no like, you don't, contrary to what Aleef said, like, you don't really need to have talent in the first place, but rather you just need to have practice time.
Right.
Lots of practice time, and fully understand what your inputs are actually doing to the car. When you understand that, everything will just fall into place, and no matter what track, no matter what car you choose, you are able to adapt to anything and just drive the car.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, it's just a matter of practice. So
Just walk me through this part. So for example, if I myself were to enter a time trial or enter a qualifying in the daily race, for example, I will just, of course, get a car, go into the track, and then I will just start driving. Incrementally, I will shave my time downwards and be quicker, perhaps like lap after laps. But you will hit this point whereby, you'll be getting harder and harder as well to shave off more time. And that is actually how I approach a time trial or approach a qualifying. So how about yourself? How do you actually, approach a particular qualifying lap or time trial or hot lap? Do you like look at other person's timing as a point of reference and say, okay, this is the target time, and then I will drive towards that, or you will just drive without any time in your mind and then just start to shave off to the best of your ability? I mean, there are different approaches. So what is your actual or rather favorite way of approaching a time trial?
I think my favorite way is, okay, for example, if there's a race at Nürburgring, right, my fastest lap time is 1:55.0. So that's kind of the lap time I'm aiming for at the daily race.
Right.
So I'll just go out guns blazing, trying to hit that lap or even go even faster. That's how I approach it. If it's like a brand new track, like Alsace, Lorraine, or
Right.
and Big Willow, that one I'll try to look at the leaderboard. Okay, if their lap time is like a 1:37 or something, okay, 1:38 first. Okay, if you can reach that, okay, 1:37. Just try.
Right.
That's how I approach it.
And Jason?
okay, my approach is similar to that of Aleef's, but I don't remember my lap times for any given track. But I just do the qualifying time trial, and then I just take the top 10 ranking times as a reference. So as long as I can get close to them or even be with them, that would be good enough. So I also just, like CJ, I just set times and just keep doing laps till I find that I really can't improve anymore. And then I'll just go for the race. But the main thing is that you have to understand what line is best for the car and for the track. You have to have a understanding of the racing line and how to carry speed throughout the corner, and
Sure.
what is fast and what is slow.
Sure.
So in order to understand that, I feel like you just need more practice, and then also you can also refer to YouTube videos. There are a lot of YouTube videos explaining to newcomers or even professional drivers on how to be fast and what is fast. So if you have free time, just go and watch those videos and learn something new every day.
Of course, when we look at the timings of perhaps the Japanese, the so-called the aliens, or the top 10 of the leadership, or whoever that may be, do you see yourself like, is there an average gap? For example, for myself, I usually am within a 2-second lap from perhaps the top guy from the leadership board. And no matter how hard I try, I may not be able to hit the target. So be it is it a lack of talent or lack of the racecraft or the technical skills, whatever that contributes, that it's very hard for me to push even further. So for yourself, do you how hard do you actually push before you say that, okay, I've really reached my limit and I would not pursue that time anymore? Do you actually have that kind of such experience before? And if so, how do you actually motivate yourself further?
For example, there's an example in Bathurst.
Mm-hmm.
There's a GT3 daily race, and I think the top times was like 2 minute 1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and somehow I got within the top 10. I just kept trying, but I couldn't actually get faster than that because that's I thought that was it. And most of the time I kind of drop it when the race actually starts. So until then I just keep going at it.
Right.
Same here. For qualifying time trial, I just push to the max because it's not a race. So I just give everything that I have at the qualifying time trial because it determines your starting position.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. Just do your best, get a godlike lap time in, and then get an amazing starting position, and then just defend your place in the race.
Okay.
Yeah, then you can just win it lah.
And the question is because if you keep repeating the same old lines without changing your lines, I'm sure at certain point your lap times will be in a way stagnant. So when you say push harder, push further, or drive faster, do you also mean that changing your driving lines dynamically lap after lap, or perhaps changing the braking points or the acceleration point out of the corner? How do you guys actually do it?
I go corner by corner. So basically I do the entire lap, and then I will kind of like know which corner I kind of messed up my line. So I'll just change that part of the lap, and then do the rest with the same lines, and then that's how I just constantly improve my lap times. So not completely changing, but just some of the part you just have to change slowly.
Same with Aleef. Yeah, so just the braking points and turning points are like, there is an ideal braking point and there is the ideal turning point and acceleration point.
Right.
Just that, that's the challenge. You have to keep at it and find it in the first place. But if you can't find it and you can't keep at it, that's where you go slow. And that's where Aleef is really good at. He finds it and he keeps at it. For me, I find it, I can't keep at it for as long as Aleef. Just refer to the replays or any track guides that YouTube has to offer or the Gran Turismo leaderboard has to offer, and very soon you'll see a pattern that most top 10 stars do lah. So just try and imitate their lines.
Thanks for sharing. I think that really were really valuable tips for drivers out there who really want to push themselves to the limit or even better their driving style. I guess end of the day, I think what plays a part also is the personal motivation, that you really want to be motivated and fight for the fastest lap that you actually can. When you play with perhaps the more casual drivers, they will have maybe this mental block to say that, oh no, I can't ever reach that time. It's too fast for me. And in fact, I used to be like that as well. It's like, how did they even reach the time? Perhaps 4 seconds away, 5 seconds away. And of course, with practice, naturally you improve, and then you start to shave off more time, and you get closer to the board. So I guess certain part of it is the personal motivation, and also like we talk about, be it talent or be it the practice, it all comes together at the end of the day to actually make yourself a better driver. Okay, so shifting the focus away to the slightly bigger picture, what are your thoughts on sim racing, especially locally in the Singapore scene in general?
I still feel that it's still a small community, but I feel that it's definitely growing. Most people around me actually find the sim racing peripherals expensive. And then some of my friends actually think that I or we are no different from those people playing maximum tune at those arcades. So I'm always quite offended when they say that. But
I'm offended now.
whatever. Yeah, I know. It's like stop generalizing us with the maximum two players. But then again, whatever. Because I just feel that there's not much awareness of what sim racing really is. And how much discipline it actually requires to be good at it. It's like just like any other sport. Like you see tennis, you see golf, like you just whack the ball back and forth. Like whacking only what.
Right.
Like, you just hit the ball only what. Hit the ball in the hole, hit the ball and don't let the other person touch the ball only what. I also can do if I practice lah. But then again I don't think I want to practice because it looks so easy and I got better things to do lah.
Okay.
But that's what like a lot of people think about sport lah.
Alright.
And same goes for racing and sim racing. There's just so much more than what meets the eye. So like this replay, in this replay is a Tokyo Expressway replay lah. So this track, I had no idea how to drive this track at all 2 weeks ago until I saw it as part of a Nation Cup race. And then I had to book in the next day. So this is my only race that I have left to participate in. So I just took the time and just put in lots of laps in the time trial. When race day came, I qualified second amongst the aliens. And I didn't really want to put my time up into the leaderboard. So I just kept playing offline in the time trial race because my times were just so quick. I was shocked myself also.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to spoil the Japanese party, and then I want to surprise them by just going in and just shock them.
So you
So, like,
purposely
all those-
delisted yourself from the board.
Yeah, I'm already quite annoyed at the Japanese because they are so fast and there's no way we can catch up to them. So me having this advantage suddenly, due to so much practice time, really helped me a lot lah.
Right.
And those people, those names that I saw qualify ahead of me on, usually they are qualifying 6 or 7, all
Okay.
behind me.
Right.
Yeah, so during the race, I was able to just open up the gap and just like completely rape them all, except for the first guy lah. The
Okay.
first guy is just out of this world also. So all in all, I feel like sim racing, you also require a lot of discipline to do
Yeah.
well in it.
For sure.
And people should not look down on us so badly lah.
Right.
Like it's also a sport. It's a legitimate sport.
Right,
It's
right.
a professional sport in real life. So it's just
It's no
that's
longer
my
just a
2 cents.
video game per se.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
And okay.
and like racing with other people also, there's a lot of respect that comes into it. Like people, you are racing side by side with people, and you have to take note that they are also racers, and
Right.
they also want to play the game. And in real life, they have their own car, and they own their own car. So you as a driver, you have to take note not to ram into them. But then you also have to fight for a position because it's a race.
Yep.
If you're not racing, you're not a racing driver. You're just a driver
Right.
driving a car around.
Okay.
So, like, racing taught me a lot about respect with other people
Uh-huh.
and like putting yourself in other people's shoes also.
Cool.
So as you're racing, you just think about them and try not to ruin their race, but also don't ruin your race, and just have a good clean race lah.
Right.
Like I have quite a number of clean and close races online, and no matter what position that we finish in after the race, the online drivers around the world, they will also send messages in the lobby after the race has ended, thanking each other for the good race lah. And I feel like I feel really grateful, and like I feel really happy whenever they send those messages, and then it feels really great to play a part in those battles
Sure.
and earn the respect of other drivers around the world.
And Aleef?
Sim racing scene is always been growing since, let's say, when I joined my first actually competition, right? It was in 2010, 2011. There was already a lot of people back then. So I mean, for us now, we generally don't see them because they are not into GT Sport or something. So So the only time we actually see them is, say, like Formula One events or iRacing or Coaster events. So it's big. It's there. So we just have to find a sweet spot, general place so that every one of us can actually gather. Like the Saint Games competition.
Right.
There's so many people came down
Yeah.
from the Singapore scene. Yep, and just the message just to feel free to ask pointers with the already very open community of sim racers in Singapore.
So of course, being part of the community, we definitely want this, especially in the Singapore scene, this community to really grow bigger and bigger. I think currently, at least based on the number of followers for GTSG Facebook, we are considered pretty okay. But I'm sure there are also other drivers out there that we have yet to, in a way, identify. So, well, hopefully in time to come, this community will eventually grow even bigger than what it is right now. That is my personal take on the Singapore community as a whole under GT and sim racing. To really close this off, any message that you really have for fellow GT drivers and...
So basically, like, think of it as a sport rather than a game. There is more than what meets the eye. So go and train and explore by yourself, and also you can ask other people, and you will find your speed eventually. So just don't give up, and there's always time to be found somewhere.
Just taking the points from Jason, just continue pushing hard. Tips wise, I mean, there's always videos. I suggest you guys go and just watch a lot of videos and just drivers in real life driving. It'll make you just a slightly more better driver. And the message is there. It's always been there. Please do feel free to ask us or ask any of the drivers in the community for tips. And just continue to join the daily rooms that Seizure and the rest of the crew are set up so that we can have a lot of fun.
Cool. Right. Well, yeah, it's been a great chat. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm sure the listeners, would really find the inputs and the conversation valuable. So thanks again, and I hope to see you guys soon in the lobby, as well as hopefully we'll have another session to sit down and really chat about Gran Turismo again. Right, so thank you guys, and then I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.